Imagine a world where one of the most trusted assets suddenly disappears from your reach: silver. Not just any silver, but physical silver that investors, industrial users, and collectors rely on. Right now, there's a storm brewing in the silver market, and it's shaking everyone who thought this precious metal was safe and predictable. What if I told you that the physical silver supply crisis isn't just a headline? It's a real threat to how the market works, and it could change your investment game forever. Welcome to Wealth Wave, where we break down complex market moves into clear insights you can act on. Before we dive deep, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, because we're covering the kind of information most people don't even know exists. And trust me, you'll want to catch every second. Now, let's start with the basics. Silver is unique. Unlike paper assets or digital numbers on a screen, physical silver is tangible. You can hold it, store it, and it has value that isn't dependent on governments or banks. But here's the problem. The supply of physical silver is shrinking fast. Mines are producing less, demand is soaring, and inventories are at historically low levels. The market is experiencing a crunch, the likes of which we haven't seen in decades. And this isn't just about investors hoarding silver. Industrial use alone is consuming more silver than is being mined. Electronics, solar panels, medical devices, all of these need silver. And when demand keeps climbing while supply falters, prices can't stay the same. Let's break down why this shortage is happening. First, mining output has stagnated. Many of the world's largest silver mines are aging, and new discoveries are rare. Even when new mines open, it can take years, sometimes decades, for them to produce silver at a scale that really matters. Second, investment demand has surged. When uncertainty hits the global economy, people flock to silver as a hedge. Unlike gold, silver is more accessible to everyday investors. So when the market feels shaky, physical silver gets snapped up quickly. And third, supply chains have become strained. Refineries can't keep up, delivery times are longer, and premiums for physical silver are skyrocketing. What used to be a minor extra cost now feels like a serious price barrier. Here's the kicker. Most investors don't actually own the physical silver they think they do. A huge portion of the market is paper silver, ETFs, and futures contracts. These financial products promise silver that doesn't exist in a vault waiting for you. When a crisis hits and everyone wants their hands on real metal, the difference between paper and physical silver becomes painfully clear. That's why premiums are spiking and dealers are struggling to fulfill orders. The scarcity is real, and it's hitting wallets everywhere. But why does this matter to you right now? Because the silver market doesn't just impact collectors or industrial companies. It impacts everyday investments. A tightening physical supply can lead to rapid price spikes, making it harder for new investors to enter without paying a premium. And history tells us that when precious metals markets tighten, volatility skyrockets. For those of you following Wealth Wave, this is exactly the kind of market signal that could indicate a major opportunity or a warning sign to protect your wealth. Think of it this way. Silver is like water in a desert. When there's too much demand and too little supply, the value of every drop goes up. People are waking up to this reality. Retail investors are rushing to buy, industrial users are competing for limited supply, and even governments are taking notice. Silver isn't just a commodity anymore, it's a strategic asset in a market that's tightening faster than most people realize. And the ripple effects, higher silver prices can impact everything from electronics costs to inflation hedges and investment portfolios. You might be wondering, what can be done? Well, solutions aren't simple. Mines can't instantly produce more silver, and global demand isn't slowing down. Some investors are looking to alternatives like silver ETFs, but as I mentioned, those aren't the same as holding physical silver. True security comes from real, tangible silver. And if you're someone who wants to ride the wave rather than get crushed by it, understanding these supply dynamics is critical. This isn't fear-mongering, it's market reality. Now let's look at the numbers, because the story becomes even clearer when you see the scale. Global silver inventories are at multi-decade lows. Annual silver production barely meets industrial demand, leaving very little for investment purchases. Premiums over spot prices for physical silver coins and bars have doubled, and delivery times are stretching to months. For anyone trying to buy significant quantities, patience is a requirement, and many are finding themselves locked out of immediate purchases. This is why the crisis is so tangible, literally and financially. And it's not just the supply side that's stressing the market. Speculative activity has also added fuel to the fire. As prices start climbing, short-term traders try to capitalize, but the underlying problem, limited physical silver, means these speculative moves can amplify volatility. When paper contracts are sold against limited physical metal, a squeeze can happen almost overnight, and that's exactly what's frightening markets right now. Imagine a sudden rush of buyers demanding delivery of silver that doesn't exist. The system strains, premiums spike, and prices can swing wildly in a very short period. For regular investors watching from the sidelines, this is both a warning and an opportunity. It's a warning because markets can behave irrationally under scarcity. It's an opportunity because understanding the gap between paper silver and physical silver gives you insight into potential price movements and market behavior. At WealthWave, we emphasize that knowledge is power. Investors who understand the nuances of supply and demand are always better positioned to make strategic moves rather than reactive ones. Here's the takeaway. The physical silver supply crisis isn't a temporary hiccup. It's a structural issue driven by stagnating mine output, soaring industrial demand, logistical bottlenecks, and investment frenzy. Every day that passes without new supply or reduced demand intensifies the pressure. The market is telling us a story of scarcity, value, and opportunity. And for anyone paying attention, this story could shape your investment decisions for years to come. So, what should you do next? Start by understanding what kind of silver you're actually buying. Physical ownership matters. Look at market trends, monitor premiums, and stay informed about global supply data. And remember, volatility can be your friend if you approach it strategically. At WealthWave, our goal is to give you the insights to navigate this market intelligently. Before we wrap up, don't forget, if you found value in this video, hit that like button, share it with someone who's interested in metals or investing, and subscribe to WealthWave. We cover everything from market insights to wealth strategies, and your engagement helps us bring you more quality content. Also, leave a comment below with your thoughts. Are you currently investing in silver, or are you waiting to see how this shortage unfolds? We want to hear your perspective. Your comments spark discussion, and discussion fuels knowledge. The silver supply crisis is real. It's happening now, and it's impacting markets in ways most people don't fully understand. But for those who are paying attention, it's a chance to gain clarity, make informed decisions, and ride the wave of opportunity rather than get caught in the panic. So stay alert, stay informed, and as always, ride the wave wisely. Remember, physical silver isn't just a metal. It's a story of scarcity, value, and opportunity. And by understanding that story, you're not just investing in silver, you're investing in knowledge, strategy, and your financial future. So comment, share, and keep the conversation going. At WealthWave, we believe informed investors are empowered investors, and this silver supply crisis is your front row ticket to understanding how markets really work.